What's going on, guys? The time has finally come. This is Brandon Kid 2.0. First and foremost, I want to say thanks to you guys for the continued support, whether that be you just watching my videos, and of course, just purchasing these things that I continue to sell to help you all. So, uh, the Brandon Kid 2.0, let's just dive straight into it. I'm going to put a timestamp up on the screen right now so we can differentiate the different sections that we're going to go over in this tutorial because it's going to be super long. Hold on real quick. My phone is ringing. I got an alarm going off. But yeah, so timestamps right here. This tutorial is going to be super long. It's going to be not that hard for some people who have already purchased the Brandon Kit 1.0. It's not going to be hard regardless. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Let's just get straight into it though. The first thing that we're going to do is open our Brandon Kit folder. This is what you're going to be looking at once you get the 2.0. And we're just going to double click, go to our fonts folder, and we just have to install all of the fonts. So we're just going to drag, double click, select them all. And if you're on Mac, you're just going to pop up with the sequence of different fonts. I'm not sure how this looks on Windows. I haven't used Windows in years, so forgive me. So if you have to go through individually and install these, just do so. And if you're on Mac, when you're going through this process, you just click install. You might run into like an error message that looks something like this. Just click this little box and do install checked, and you'll be good. So go through and install all of the fonts, and we're going to get straight into it after that. So the first thing that we're going to go through is the Instagram video templates. You open the folder. These are the different templates that we're going to go through, and these are editable beyond what you guys even think. So let's just dive straight into the first one. So for the people who purchased the Brandon Kit 1.0, this is probably going to look very similar, but it's actually different. If you guys are familiar with Instagram, and what you can do on Instagram now is you can upload 5:4 aspect ratios on Instagram, whether that be with photos or video. So this template right here is just a little bit taller than a regular square. It's going to give you all more space on the timeline, and it's just going to attract more eyes because it's bigger and it's just a bolder statement. So we're going to open this in the workspace. We're just going to do the essentials, the default. And this is what you're going to see. So over here, we just have our basic tools with Photoshop. And let me not do that. Hold on. I'm messing up already. Put that back where it was. Drag this over. So we just have our basic tools over here on the left side, and then over here on the right side, we should have our layers. If you don't see layers, just go to window and click on the layers thing right here, and it'll pop up. So we have our layers right here, and these are just the different layers for the actual template. So the first thing that we're going to go over is placing the images into the template. So if we click this little arrow, it's going to give us a little drop down, and we're just going to see the different images. This is going to be the top one, the middle one, and the bottom one. I'm just going to delete them for the sake of this video, just to show you how to import your own. So if we go to file and open, we're just going to go through and locate some photos that we're going to be importing. Typically these are screenshots from videos that you've done. It can be actual photos. I'm just going to go through and find the same screenshots that I just had. So yeah, let me find those really quick. Music video files, T-Crux 3 words, screenshots, and just grab a couple screenshots, the ones that you want to use for the preview. I'm just going to get randomly 3 of them, not even really think about it. So once they open, they're just going to open in individual, openings right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to click this. Make sure we have the move tool clicked. This is going to be the tool up here at the top, and we're just going to click, drag, and we're going to hover over our template one, and then we're going to bring it down and just drop it. And this is going to represent our first image. So what we need to do to make sure our image is masked off with the actual template is we make sure we place the image in the layer palette over top of where we want it. So if we want this to be the top image in the sequence, we're going to make sure it's placed above the image one. We right click on the actual image layer, and we go to create clip and mask. And what that's going to do is it's going to combine and it's going to bind it within the restraints of the actual template. So we did that. We're going to go up here and we're going to click the show transform controls. Make sure we still clicked on this moves tool, but make sure when you're going to scale the image bigger, you have shift held. That's gonna make sure that you drag it proportionally. If we just grab an edge and just drag it around like that, you can see that it's just getting all wacky looking. So don't do that. Hold shift and then grab the edge and then move it out. And that's gonna make sure it's scaling up proportionally. So we're just gonna scale it up, move it down, and make sure it fills the frame how we want it to fill. I think that that's good right there. And then just hit return and enter to get out of that. And then we're just going to continue that process with the other images as well. So the next image is the one we're going to drag in right here. Make sure you have the move tool selected, click it, hover over this, and just drop it. And we need to make sure that we're over top of where we want it to go. So we want this to be the second image. So we're just going to drag it over top of that, right click, go to create clipping mask, and that's going to bind it to the constraints of that. And we're going to do the same thing that we did with the last one. Make sure we clicked on this image and hold shift, scale it up so it's scaling proportionally, drag it down until we have it framed up the way we would like it. I think that that looks cool. And then we're going to do the same thing for the last image. Make sure the move tool is selected, grab, hover, drop. And we're going to move this down over top of this one, right click, go to create clipping mask, scale up, and then we're just going to put it into where we think it looks good. I think that that's fine right there. So, all right, these are the images. They are in how we want them to be. If you want to adjust them, you can adjust them. If you want to, per se, move the top one down, you can just click on it, make sure the move tool is selected, drag it down, drag it up, however you want it to be. Make sure it just covers this white edge of the actual constraints of the template. That's fine, though. We're just going to leave that like that. We can click this arrow to get off of the images. Now we're going to adjust the text. So with this kit, if you didn't purchase the first one, it's a few different templates in terms of font placements and orientation. So the one that's already selected and on is the video info one. If you push this eye, if we push the eye on any of these, it's just gonna take the layer off so we can't see it. So if we don't want to use that one, we're just gonna push the eye. And we can push the eye on the other ones to preview how these ones look. So let's say this is the one you wanted to use. I think this one looks good. It's probably one of my favorite from the actual kit. Or you can select this one as well. It's a little bit more simple and it just works. So, you know, if you want to use that one, use that one. You also have the option to move these wherever you want to. So say you don't like the orientation of where this is, just click on it and make sure you have the actual folder highlighted. And then you make sure you have the move tool on and you can just drag it to wherever you would like it to be. So if you wanted it over here, you can move it there. You can move it in the middle, down, bottom, wherever you want it to be. That's up to you. And if we click this arrow right here, we have the 3 different individual text layers as well. So if we just wanted to drag the track name over, we click on the track name, make sure our move tool is on. We're just going to drag this over wherever you want it to. So this is editable however you would like it. Do whatever you want to do with it. Now, in order for us to be able to edit the text, we just click the little text tool over here on the left side, hover over whatever text we want to edit, and double click and just add in the name that we want to add in. So name of this track is 3 words. I'm going to leave it at 3 words. And then we go to the artist, T Crooks, of course. T Crooks. T Crooks. And then, you know, if you want to move it, click the move tool again, move it to wherever it's supposed to be. And then, you know, we would change the directed by YC Imaging. Go and click drag, type in whatever we want, YC Imaging. I'm going to click the move tool to move this over. I don't like the way it's oriented now, so I'm going to move it over. And you see how mine's is locking on to the different text layers and the different like edges of it. You can see like the little pink little things popping up. If you want that for yourself, just go up to the view window and go to snap and just make sure snap is on. And that's going to allow you to, you know, lock on and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's as easy as that. We have the directed by already in there, so we're not going to need it down here. So in order for us to get to this directed by to take it off, if we were going to use this specific text layout, then we would click the arrow next to the directed by text and just click that eye off right there. And it's different directed by templates here as well. So if you didn't specifically use the one that I'm using right now, you can go down here and click these on so you make sure you get yourself your credit in the actual preview. So same method with this as well. If you wanted to use this one, just click on the text layer, edit it however you want it. Watch the imaging, I'm gonna leave it like that. Say I wanted to move it up, we can click the move tool. We can just move it up to this one right here if we want it right here. I think that looks better. And so on and so forth, man. It's just so many different things that you can do. We also have a WorldStar Hip Hop Watch Now tag right here. If your video's not on WorldStar, say you wanted it to say Watch Now on YouTube, you can do that as well. Just click on it. The actual folder for it is right here in the director bar. So we're just gonna click that little arrow down, and we can click in it with the text tool and just edit it to whatever we want to. If we wanted to put youtube.com, we can do that as well. We can just put Watch Now on youtube.com, Watch Now, link in bio. Like, you know what I mean? We can do Watch Now, link in bio, whatever you want to do. It's editable to that. So if you wanted to do Watch Now, let's just put link in bio first, just so we keep the same color orientation. So let's do link in bio, and then we would go over and then delete the other one. So Watch Now, link in bio. You could do it however you want to do it. Now, say you didn't like the actual color of the text and you wanted to change that. Easy and really simple way to do this is if you go find the specific text layer that you want to change. So let's say we wanted to change the 3 words to a different color. If we click on it in the layer panel, and we go up here to this little square at the top, we click on it, and we can designate whatever color we wanted to. If we want to eyedrop a color that's already in the actual video, we can just go around and click. If we wanted it green, we can do that. If we wanted this brown color, we can do that. But we also have the option to move it around in here and choose a specific color for ourselves as well. So it's a bunch of different things that you can do right there with the actual colors. You can change the color of anything. You can move anything to where you want it. If you want to move this WorldStar tag, you can do that as well. Just make sure you click the entire folder, click the move tool, and just move it. I think that looks better right there. Like I said, it's whatever you want to do. So if this is the template that you want to use and you've gotten it to a space that you want it to be, the last and final thing that we need to do to save it, to get it ready for our actual preview to add it in Premiere, we're going to go up to File, and we're going to go to Save As, and just name it whatever you want to name it. I'm going to do Tutorial Overlay, just for the sake of this video. Select where you want it to go. The big thing that we need to make sure that we do here is we need to make sure we choose PNG. PNG, always make sure you choose PNG. Leave it at large file size. Okay, that's fine. And we're done for the sake of actual Photoshop. So let's just go and work out how this works in Premiere. Then we'll come back and look at some of the other templates and stuff like that. So we'll open up Premiere, and the first thing that we need to do in Premiere is to start a sequence. If you already have the music video files in Premiere, then you can just start a new sequence, or you can just drag in the actual final video edit. I'm just going to drag in a clip, start a new sequence, and let's delete the clip out of it. Delete the clip out of the sequence, and then we're going to go up to sequence settings. Now, what we need to do in sequence settings is change the size of the sequence. So horizontal wise, we're going to make sure that this is at 1920. Vertical, we're going to make sure this is at 2400. So it's 1920 by 2400. Those are the dimensions of the actual preview. So we changed the sequence size, and now we're going to import the PNG file that we just saved. Let's just go find that wherever we put it at. And we're going to import that. And we're going to drag that straight into the timeline. And we're going to make it however long we want to make it. If you want your preview 30 seconds long, drag it to 30 seconds. If you want it 20, you want it 25, just drag it to wherever you would like it to be. Size it down. And I recommend you put it onto the second layer, not the first one, because you're going to need to put the video under the first layer. So I'm just going to find the actual video file for this so I can import it in. So we'll go and we will find the music video finals. T Crooks, 3 words. And we're just going to drag that into the timeline and just find the section of the video that we want to use. I'm just going to start it right here for the sake of this video. Man, why is that playing out of the computer? That's so odd. I don't know. I'm going to turn the sound off just for the sake of that. So once we have our video in, we're gonna right click on our video file and we're gonna go to scale to frame size. And that's just gonna make sure the scale of the video is where it needs to be. Click on it, go to our effects controls panel up at the top. And now we're gonna adjust the position of it. And we're just gonna adjust the position on the right side because that's gonna change where it's at vertically. And just drag it until the video actually somewhat fits in it. It probably won't perfectly fit because our letterbox images are different sizes, but just get it to a space where it actually works. And if it doesn't work, you can also scale it up a little bit as well to like a 103 or 105 or something, so it fits into this little box. Just get it to where it looks good, and just make sure you get to the portion of where you want it to be. Cut off the extra of it. Drag it to the end. And what I like to do for my previews is just to drop like a simple cross dissolve on it at the beginning and at the end. Put that only on the video files. Only put that on the video files. Don't put that on the actual overlay that we just designed. We don't want that. So zoom in a little bit. I like to up the distance of my crossface a little bit more at the end. And then we're also gonna put some audio transitions on here as well. So just a constant power, simple at the beginning, constant power at the end. I'm gonna drag mine at the end to match this cross dissolve right here. And we can just play this through and see how it looks. Make sure it looks good, play it through. Like I said, it's probably not gonna fit perfect. Just scale it up until it looks good. Get those letter boxes out of it, those black bars. I think that looks fresh, man. That's super fire. So just make sure, play it through. Make sure it dissolves out at the end. Boom, and that's it. It's all good. So that looks perfect. I'm gonna go through the export and show you my export settings that I use for my music videos and my actual previews. So we're just gonna go to export media. Just rename it. We're just gonna do tutorial export. IG's fine. Save it to the desktop. We're gonna go down, adjust the profile. I like to use mine at high. Levels, I'm gonna go to 5.2. When you adjust the levels to 5.2, it's gonna automatically readjust the frame size. So what we're gonna do to correct this is just check off the frame size and recheck it, and it's just gonna change everything back to what it's supposed to be normally. So after we do that, we're gonna go down, render at maximum depth. I like the 2-pass mines. I'm gonna go up to like around a 35 or so on the VBR 2-pass. Scroll down, make sure use maximum render quality and use previews are selected. And then we're just gonna hit export. I don't know if I actually wanna export for the sake of this video, but I'm not going to. Just export. Those are the settings that I use. I'm not gonna export it because I don't wanna have to re-chop this actual tutorial up afterwards. So yeah, that's that. That's the first preview. So let's take a look at the second one. The second template, I'm sorry, for the Instagram video template. So this is the template 2. And a lot of these are gonna really apply, a lot of the things that I'm showing you in the different templates are gonna apply to the other templates in the actual kit. You're gonna see a pattern of what goes on and how to edit things. So pretty much same layout for this one. You place your images in this thing right here. I'm gonna delete the images for the sake of this video, put them back in just so you guys can see it. See what I just did again. So let's just close out these screenshots and just find some other screenshots to import into the video. So I'm gonna find the redhead ones. So if we go to music video files, find my screenshots and just gonna import all of the screenshots. And we're just gonna drag them in one by one, exactly like we just did on the last one. So I'm gonna drag it in to the template 2, drop. And this is gonna be my main image here at the top. Right click on it, go to create clipping mask, make sure it's over top of this, the image 1, and make sure the move tool is selected. Select show transform controls, and we're gonna scale. Make sure you hold shift so it scales proportionally. Hold shift, scale it up to what we want it to. I'm gonna scale this up a little bit more so it's centered. That looks good right there. And now we're just gonna continue the actual segment with what we did last time. So this is gonna be, I'm gonna use this one for the bottom one. So drag it in, drop, and this is gonna be on top of image 4 because I want this to be the 4th image. Right click and go to create clipping mask. Move it to where we want it to. And I'm not going to scale this one up because I'm going to show you how to fade it out if you want to fade it out. I had this one faded out, so I just want to show you all how to do it if that's something that you also want to do. Just get it to a space that it needs to be at this moment. And we're going to drag in the other images as well. So one thing that's different about this template that wasn't in the other one that we just looked at, and you can do this on any template. Don't think that this is only relative to this template. If you want to put 2 images on one of the spaces on one of the lines, then you can do that as well if you want to fade one out. So what I'm going to do and demonstrate here is I'm going to fade in 2 images on one of the actual preview lines. So let's right click and create our clipping mask just like we did. You can see that this one's on here. I'm going to scale this down a little bit just so we can see his head a little bit better. Just scale it down so we can see his head really good in there. And we're just going to leave it like that. Don't mind the fact that you can clearly see the edge of it right here and the edge of that one. So we're going to bring in another image, our last screenshot. And we're going to drag, drop. I want that one on this line. So I want it on the same line as the one we just placed. So I right click and create a clipping mask on that. And you can see it puts them both on the same line, which is fine. And we're just going to drag it like that. So the key to this one is to fade the images. You don't have to fade the images. You can literally do it how we did the last one with 4 images on each bar. But I'm just going to show you how to fade it if you want to. So if we click on our eraser tool right here, go to the eraser tool, click this drop down arrow. We're going to make sure our hardness is all the way at 0. And we're going to scale it pretty large. We want it pretty large. We want it bigger than this. So we want it pretty much as large as possible. Make sure we're clicked on the left image. And we're just going to fade this edge out so it's not a hard edge right there on that side. Go through and fade that edge. And yeah, I mean, it's really that simple. We just fade the edge out and just fade it until it looks good. And now we got 2 images on one line. And now that looks a lot better than, of course, with the hard edges. But we also have to fade this edge out on this bottom image. So if we go down and we click on the bottom image, make sure we're still in our eraser tool. We're just going to fade out this side as well. And you can see that it just fades out nice. That white to white just really makes it work. And for the sake of this, I'm going to actually scale this down a little bit more so we can get our directed by name in there. Really nice. Scale it down. And we got a nice fade on it and it looks good. So if you ever find yourself wanting to use multiple images on a box, it's possible. Just put them both in there and just fade them out with the eraser tool and make them blend together nicely. So with this template, it's pretty much the same as the other one. If you want to edit the text, let's say you didn't want that text at the top. You wanted to use this text. You can use that one as well. Just click off the I to the one that you don't want. Click on the I for the one that you do. Go through, edit it to whatever you want. You can use a couple text elements from this one and a couple text elements from the other one if you want to as well. Just click inside of the folder and turn the I off for the one that you want. The one that you don't want, to keep the eye on for the one that you do want. So, you know, it's tons of things that you can do. So, I mean, for this one, I like the simplicity of this one. I'm going to leave it as is. But you have the option to edit and do whatever you want to do. If you want to change the color, you can do that. Just double click and just click this little square up here to adjust the temperature, the color. You can, you know, put it to wherever you want. It's just a bunch of things that you can do. It's literally the same thing, though. It's like a repeating method for pretty much everything that you want to edit in the template. So let's just say you got it to where you want it to be. You go up, you click File, Save As. Just name it whatever you want to. I'm going to name it Tutorial Template 2. Tutorial Template 2. That's top. Make sure you save it as a PNG. It's got to be a PNG file. It's always a PNG file. PNG. Yeah, and then we can jump back over into Premiere. Already have the sequence set up. The sequence is going to be the exact same size, the exact same method that we used for the previous one because it's the same dimensions. So what we can do here that's really simple is just import what we just did. the overlay that we just did. This one right here. And we can actually just drag it straight into the timeline, delete the bottom one that we just made, the original one, drag it over. And if we click on the video file, we're just gonna adjust this right one over here to, move the verticality. And we're just gonna move it down until the video fits the hole in the middle of it. And it's just as simple as that. So if we play it through, we got the video in the middle of this one. I wonder, I'm actually just gonna bring the actual video in so it looks somewhat right. So if we go to music video finals, we're gonna bring in the Redhead They Never video, and we just drag it right under the template, right click on it, go to scale to frame size, and we didn't even have to move it, like it fits in there perfectly as is. So if we just scale it and go to the parts of it that we want to use, cut off the extra part, drag that over, and we're just gonna put some simple transitions on it. I like to do cross dissolves, but you can put whatever you want on there. If you have my other transition packs, you can put a transition at the beginning of it. You can let it just play straight as. I just like to do it simple though. I just put a crossfade on there, and then I put a constant power at the beginning and the end, drag it out a little bit further at the end, and just play that through. As you can see, it goes in perfect. It's really simple to do. Then it looks fresh. And then we would just export it out and do it the exact same way that we just did it. And then after I go through the templates, I'll show you how to transfer them to your phone for you to upload on Instagram and stuff like that. All right, so let's just close out these screenshots, and then we'll open up the last template and go through that and edit that down. Let's just close this one out. Don't save it. I'm not gonna save it. So this is the third template. And this is very similar to the last two ones that we did in terms of images. So it's just one large image at the top. And I'm going to delete the image and import it in for the sake of this. So if we go to File and just Open, just find an image we like, whether that be screenshots from the video or just actual pictures, and just import it back in. I'm going to try to find the actual image that I had because I like the way that was and the actual format of it. So this is the image right here. Select the move tool, drag it, drop, hit OK. And here we are. Make sure you're over top of the actual image file, the image layer, right click, create clipping mask, and we're in the game. So we just move it to wherever we want to. This is a really large image, so I don't have to scale it. But if you had to scale it, make sure you select the move tool, show transform controls, and hold shift while you're actually scaling it. So this is a really large image. I don't really have to. This is fine as is. So same deal with all the other ones. If you don't like this text layout, choose whatever one you want. If you want to use that one, edit it, change the colors to how you would like it. You can take off the Watch Now World Star tag, whatever, get it to how you want it. If you want to drag in multiple images, you can drag in multiple images and fade them how I just showed you in the last one. Do whatever you want. I'm just going to save it as is for the sake of this. And I'm pretty sure you guys have gotten the gist of how to edit it now. So I'm just going to save it to the desktop. Make sure we do PNG. I'm going to name this tutorial 3. Tutorial 3 PNG. Tutorial overlay 3 PNG. So save it. Make sure it's a PNG. Go back to Premiere. If you need to set up the sequence, you can do it exactly how it was. It's the same dimensions for all of these. So I'm just going to find the overlay, import that, and just drag it straight onto the timeline. Delete the other one, drag it out. I'm going to delete the video file and bring this actual video into it. So let me just find that. Music video finals, B dots, probably not on here, from the Mudfix. So import that. So we just drag it in, right click on the video file, scale the frame size, and just find a portion of it that you want to actually input into the video. I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna start it from right here. Drag it in. My bad. You zoom out. Drag it in. Cut off the rest that we don't need. Drag that to that. And I'm just gonna put my simple transitions on here. My cross dissolves at the beginning and the end. My constant powers at the beginning and end. And that's it. Really simple. Same process throughout it all. And I'm gonna go through the Instagram story templates as well. I forgot to adjust the actual place that this should be at. So if we click on the video file, make sure we adjust this one on the right side. And we're just gonna drag it up until this fits and fills this frame. If it doesn't fit perfectly, just scale it up a little bit. If you scale it up a little bit, it's fine. It still works. Just make sure it fits it. And yeah, there we go. It's that simple. And get it to how we need it. Do the export exact same way. It's all the same. So those are the Instagram video templates. One thing that I want to show you as well is, let me do a screen recording really quick to show you how to upload it on Instagram. But before we even do that, let me show you how to get it to your actual phone. So what I do, I typically either use AirDrop, which is an Apple only thing. So if you don't have AirDrop, another way that you can do it is to just drop it in your Dropbox folder and then download the Dropbox app for your phone and then export it from Dropbox. It'll keep it full res. So I don't have the video files because I didn't export, but let's say that this was the video file. Just right click on it, go to share, and then we go to AirDrop, and then we wait for our phones to come up right there, click our phones, and then it would transfer over. And then, yeah, so let me do a really quick screen grab recording to put over top of this of what to do on Instagram. Do I even have any of these in my phone? Hold on for 1 second. Let me find one that I sent to Redhead, and then I can send it over and put it into the actual video that we're doing right now. So let me find the last one that I sent to him. Save that to my phone. Okay. Save video. Cool, so we're in the game. So look, I'm gonna start a screen grab recording, 3, 2, 1, and then I'm gonna show you how to do it, how to upload it on Instagram. So here we are on Instagram, and this is the method that we use to actually upload these previews because they're a little bit different than just the square. So if we go to the upload button, here's the preview that we just did, but you can see that it's cut off. So what we do is we push this little button right here at the left bottom, and that's gonna adjust our constraints. So if we push that, we want to make sure we can see the entire thing. Then we go to next, and this is gonna put it on Instagram at that full resolution, that taller resolution than the squares. It's gonna give you more viewership on the timelines, and it's just gonna be a bolder statement for your actual video preview. So make sure you push that little button at the bottom left, type in your description, and then you just upload it straight to your Instagram timeline. And it is as simple as that. So aside from that, we have, let's just go back to the Brandon Kit folder. We went through the Instagram video templates. Let's just go to the Instagram story templates really fast because these are really similar to what we just did on pretty much all of the other ones. So let's just open the template 1. And these templates are for when you're uploading the video preview to your Instagram story. These dimensions are going to work perfect for Snapchat as well if you decide to upload these to Snapchat for some odd reason. But yeah, it's really simple. We have our folders over here just like we just did with the other ones. And I'm just going to delete this image for the sake of this, and we're going to bring a new one in. I'm just going to bring this one in because I already have it open. Hover, drop, make sure it's over top of this. Right click, and we're going to create a clip and mash just like we've been doing. Drag it and get it to a space that we like it. I think that looks really cool right there for the sake of this video. And it's pretty much that simple. This is pretty much done. We'll go to the text format. And if we just want to edit this text, we obviously want to put the video name in. Just click on it, adjust the video name, put it to whatever you want. And yeah, you're pretty much done. Once you get the template to how you want it, you go to File, you go to Save As. And I'm just going to do Story Template template tutorial for the sake of this video. Put it on the desktop. Make sure you do it as a PNG. You want to do a PNG all times for these overlays. PNG, and then we just hit save. Cool. And let's just go to Premiere and figure out the workflow for it. So the first thing we need to do is we need to start a sequence. So just drag a clip and start a sequence. It doesn't matter. Delete that out, and we're just gonna go up to the top to the sequence settings. We're gonna change the frame size. So the frame size for these previews is 1080 by 1920. 1080 by 1920. You can see it's vertical. We have the vertical frame, and we're just gonna import the preview that we just did, the preview overlay. Import that, and let's just drag this straight into the timeline. So with Instagram stories, it's 14 seconds flat. That's all you get. So make sure that you drag it out to the 14-second mark, and make the overlay 14 seconds. And then we're gonna find the video. I've already imported the video right here. I'm just gonna start it from right there and drag it in, drag the video file in, right click, do scale to frame size. Just like we did last time, we're gonna cut off the rest of it. It just so happens that this video is in the center, so you shouldn't have to move it. But if you do, just do it exactly how we just did it. So we're gonna click on the actual video, go to our effects control panel at the top. I'm gonna scale down to make this a little bit bigger. And we might be able to adjust the scale size of this to make it smaller if we need to. So you can adjust the scale. You can see right there it's going too small. You obviously don't want the black on the side. So scale it down or scale it up just so it fits in there, and we get a good amount of the actual video inside of that little frame. And then we're just gonna let it play, and then it's just that simple. It's just literally that simple. It's that easy. Yeah, and that's pretty much done. So you get the video in, make sure it's 14 seconds, and that's what we'll be uploading to actually Instagram. So we want to export it. We'll do the exact same export settings. I'm just gonna go through them again. We'll name this story tutorial. We go down, we leave this the same. Let's adjust our profile, make our profile high, change our levels to a 5.2. When we do that, it's gonna change the restraints. So to fix this, all we have to do is uncheck the frame rate and check the frame rate back, and it'll fix everything that was changed. So let's make sure we render at the maximum depth. I like to do a VBR 2-pass 35. Might be a little bit overkill, but I just like to make sure that everything that I'm posting is sharp. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure use maximum render quality checked, use previews is checked, and then you would hit export. I'm not gonna export for the sake of this video, but that's how you would do it. So yes, I mean, it's that simple. So I'm gonna close this template right here, and we're gonna go to the second one. The second one is a little bit different, but it's still easy and simple to navigate. It's literally the exact same thing that we've been doing. So we have our folders, we have our place images here. I'm gonna delete the images for the sake of this, just to bring them back in. Bring this one back in. Drag, hover, drop, hit OK. We want this to be our top image, so we want this above that. Right click, create clipping mask. And that's it. If we want to scale it down, we make sure we're on our move tool, make sure we click this, checked right here. I'm gonna zoom out just so I can see the edges. Make sure you hold shift so it's scaling proportionally. We can scale it down if we want to. I think that's fine. And then, we'll do the same thing for the second image. So we're gonna find another image to actually import and use for the bottom one. Go to my photo edits just to find another image. I'm gonna use this image. Make sure our move tool is checked. Hold, drag, hover, and drop. Hit OK. We want this to be our bottom image, so we want this to be over top of that. Right click, create clipping mask. Move it to where we would like it to be. I think that it's a little bit too big, so I'm gonna scale it down. Make sure you hold shift. When we do our scaling down, it's gonna scale it down so it fits in there a little bit better. I think that that's fine. Hit enter. And I mean, that's pretty much it. We would change our text format, of course, to put the video name in. So make sure you click the text tool. Click that, change it to whatever if you want. Whatever floats your boat. If you want to change the color of it, you can make sure you clicked on the actual layer. Click this little rectangle. Select whatever color you want. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. Get it to wherever you like it. It's literally the same thing. So once we get it to how we like it, we're going to save it as a PNG, just like we've been doing everything else. Go to File, Save As. I'm going to do Story Tutorial 2. Make sure we save it as a PNG. PNG is where it's at. And yeah, save. Gonna go back to Premiere because we're gonna go back to Premiere. So I'm gonna delete everything in the timeline this time. The timeline is the right dimension, so I'm not gonna change that. It's literally gonna be the same dimension. So we're gonna import the overlay that we just created. Import it, drag it into the timeline on the second layer. Make sure we drag it to 14 seconds because that's how long the previews, the stories are. It's a little bit too long. I want it to be 14 seconds even. And we're gonna find the video file. We're gonna drag the video file in just like we've been doing. So where's that at? So we drag the video file in. So this is a little bit different. This overlay and the way that the video sits in the overlay is a little bit different, as you guys can obviously see. It has that slant to it. So it's a few things that you can do here. We're always gonna right click and go to scale to frame size. But when we do that, you can see that we can see these black edges on it. So depending on how your video is formatted, you could probably just scale up and it will look fine and it wouldn't look that bad depending on what you're showing in it. But I have performances in here and it's gonna be not a lot that we can see in this. So I'm not gonna do mine that way. I'm gonna right click and do the scale to frame size like we always do. But what I'm gonna do different with this is I'm gonna adjust the rotation on it. We're gonna rotate the actual video to fit into these this slant right here. So if we click on it and we go up to our effects control, we're gonna adjust the rotation of the video. So if we click this and drag it to the left, you can see it's gonna adjust the video's rotation. And we're just gonna get it close. It's not gonna be you can't do this perfect. You're gonna have a really cool overlay, but it's no way that you can get it perfect. Just get it close. And we're gonna scale up after we get the rotation just to fill the frame. And this is gonna do it a little bit more justice than we had at first. And we're gonna cut off the extra. We don't need to put transitions on this just because it's going in the story. We want it to start and we want it to end solid. So after we do that, just play it through and let's see what we got. You can see that still looks cool. Like the overlay, you're not gonna see anybody with this overlay unless they're also, in the YC fan. But you're not gonna see nobody on Instagram with this. Like this is fire. So that's that. That's how you do it. You go through and do your export just how we just did it. I'm not gonna show it. But it's that simple. So let's go into the template 3 because the template 3 is a little bit different, just like the template 2 was. So this is the template 3. Same layout though. We got the images. I'm gonna delete them just for the sake of this video. And then we're gonna bring them back in. So I'm gonna drag this in. Hover drop. I want this to be my middle image. So I'm gonna put it over top of the middle one, right click, go to create clipping mask. And I'm gonna scale that down because I think that's a little bit too large. I'm gonna leave it like that. I think that's fine. That's cool. So then we're gonna drag in our other images to fill these other spaces. Drag, drop. This is probably gonna be my top image. So I'm gonna put this over the top one. Right click, create clipping mask. Drag it up, frame it how we want it to be. If you need to scale down, make sure you always hold shift. Always hold shift, man. You don't wanna be that guy with the ugly proportions, man. Don't be that guy. Don't ever be that guy. And I'm gonna open another image to fill this last space. So let's just find this last image. Something similar. Something from the shoot. I don't know what else we got from the shoot. This one right here. This one will work. So we'll drag, drop. This is gonna be our last image. Make sure we place it over the last image box. Right click, create clipping mask, and scale down, move to fill the frame how you want it to be filled. It's all up to you. get it how you like it. You know what I mean? It's all up to you. That's cool. That's fine to me. And if you need to adjust the text, you can, go through and adjust the text as well. Change the color. Change where you want it to be at if you want to. If you want to move it over, if you want to move it to the top. If you want to move it to the top, if you want to move it to the bottom, you can do that. I think the bottom looks actually really cool right there just because of the colors. So I would put mine right there at the bottom. Do whatever you want to do, though. Adjust the name. And we're going to save it as a PNG, just like we've been doing. So we'll do story tutorial 3. Save that to the desktop. PNG. Got to be a PNG. And yeah, we're in there. So let's revert back to Premiere. Delete everything in the timeline. Leave the timeline settings the same. And we're just going to find the overlay that we just created. And we're going to drag this in, make sure it's 14 seconds long. Cool. So the difference with this one is actually really different because we have spaces for 2 videos. So, hey, we get an exclusive with it now. This is 2 different video clips. But in order for this to work, we only need the audio file from one of them. So look, I'm going to show you how to do this. So this is the music video. So let's just actually, another different thing that we're going to do is we're going to drag the story up. We're going to put it on the 3rd layer this time. So let's just drag the video in like we've been doing. Right click, scale the frame size, go to iFX control, and we're going to adjust this right side on the position to fit it into one of these boxes. If it doesn't fit perfect, make sure you just scale it up a little bit. 105 is fine. And you can see clearly that we already have the audio file for this one right here, for this particular clip. So we're going to keep that audio file. We want that audio file. We're going to cut off all the access parts of it. And then we're just going to leave that as is. That's just normal. So if we re-click on the actual video file, the music video file, we're going to find another section and we're going to mark another endpoint for it. So let's say we wanted it to start right here. We're going to click this, the mark endpoint. Click mark in. And don't just drag it. Click this right here. Drag video only. So we're going to drag in the video only to it and put that right there. So with this one, we didn't get the audio. We just got the video. Right click, scale the frame size. And now we're going to go up to the effects control panel for this one. And we're going to adjust this. Adjust the left one and move it up so we can fill this other space. Get it to a good spot. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just scale it up a little bit so we don't see any black. And we're going to cut off the access parts of it. And boom, we're in the game. So we got 2 different video preview files. We have 1 audio file on it to work. It's probably not going to play full quality on my computer right now. Let me just render through this real quick so we can run this full res. So we got 2 different portions of the video in the preview. We got 1 audio file so it doesn't sound all kind of crazy with 2 different ones. Like this is really advanced right here. This is I'm glad I thought of this, man. I'm kind of tooting my own horn right now in a tutorial. Matter of fact, we're just gonna play this at a lower res. I don't feel like waiting for this to run it through. Play this through like a half. I know my computer will play this at a half. Hopefully. Yeah, see, we got 2 different portions of the video playing through. And it's dope. Obviously, we could wait for this. Let's just wait for this, man. God, why is this taking so long? Every time I'm doing something involving YouTube, my computer wants to go slow. Man, we can't wait for 2 minutes. We can't wait for 2 minutes. This 2 minutes is just going to slow this down and make this too long. But y'all get the gist of what's going on. We got the 2 video files playing in the background. We got 1 audio side that's going to match one of the clips. The other one is not going to match it. But it's going to be cool because people can see 2 different perspectives of the video. So let's say you had 2 different locations and you wanted to showcase them both in a preview for the story. Do it that way, however you want to do it. This is dope. So we got the video files in there how we would like them to be. And we would just go through a file, do the export, just how we've been doing all the other things. So that basically sums up the Instagram video previews and the Instagram story previews as well. Make sure to let me know down in the comments, though, if it's something that I did not go over or something that you do not understand about this process. But that's the Instagram side of the branding kit wrapped up. So the next thing that we're going to get into is the Lightroom presets. Let's just go into Lightroom and knock these out really quick. Open up Lightroom. And all right, so I'm trying to think about what images I want to actually demonstrate these on. Let me find some other images that I want to demonstrate these on. So we'll demonstrate the images on this photo right here. This photo right here. So I'm gonna reset this. Just import your images how you would on Lightroom. Just import them. And then we'll go up to the develop tab up here at the top. I already have the presets right here in, but if you obviously don't, you're gonna want to right click right here on this side, go to import, and we're gonna find the actual presets for the branding kit, Lightroom presets, and you can just select them all and hit import, and they will import into your actual Lightroom. So these are the different presets, and something that's different with the presets here than what I did on the last branding kit is I decided to actually put tonal adjustments in them as well, aside from them just being color adjustments. I just adjusted the color last time because I figured people would want to adjust the colors of their photos how they would like them. But I just went ahead and did it, man, just to, help people keep their galleries consistent on Instagram, or give the musician or the artist that they're working with a consistent color palette and tone palette. So it's a bunch of different things here. We got mono, which is very mono is very desaturated. It keeps the browns and pretty much everything into the skin tones, but everything else is just desaturated to an extent. So if you find yourself and it's not giving your skin tones enough adjustments, what you can do is adjust your white balance. You can leave it as shy. You can go to auto, or let's say this wasn't giving off enough browns, we can just adjust the temperature and just drag this to more of a warmer tone, just to make it look more realistic with skin tones. But this image seems to be a little bit dark, so I'm just gonna go through and give you guys a brief adjustment breakdown of what you need to do if the image isn't how you want it to look. So I would say that this is a little bit underexposed, but maybe just in a shadow. So what I would do is I would just go down and just boost the shadows up to it. And I think that this looks fine compared to the original image, original stylistic edit. But it's tons of different things that you can do to these photos. Obviously, if you didn't like how hard the red was hitting in this picture, you can scroll down. And we have our different HSL and saturation adjustments. You can just go down to the saturation tab. If it was just like this, you would just click on the saturation hue. I like to push all so I can see everything, and just go down to the red adjustment and just drag it down so it's not hitting as hard on this code or whatever. And it's literally as simple as that. Like if you see a color in a picture that you're not liking, or you don't like how hard it's hitting, or you want it to hit harder. Let's say you wanted greens back in the picture. You can just literally go down to the saturation and up the green saturation back, put the greens back into the picture. It's literally that simple. So that's the mono. The mood one has a moody vibe to it. You can see it has those fades into the shadows. And this is just going to give your whole gallery like that moody vibe that you see from a lot of people. I think this image is a little bit underexposed. I would probably just boost the exposure of it up a little bit. Probably like right there. You still want it to be semi-dark because you want that moody feel for it. I mean, that's what this preset is. It's moody. So you want to have that dark vibe to it, that moody vibe to it. So we got the moody one. We got the Blue Dream, which is another one of my favorites. It desaturates, but it adds those blues into the shadows. It just gives it like a really nice feel. I like it. And this works on a lot of different settings and atmospheres as well. With this one, same thing. If you see, like right here, if we were to leave the white balance as shot, you can see it's taking out a lot of the skin tones. So, I mean, an easy fix for that would just be to drag the temperature over to the warm tones, just so we get those back. And, we can be back in the game. We can put it to auto or as well. Auto would typically fix it. But it's a bunch of different things that you can do, man. These pictures, they're all over the place in terms of exposure. I feel like these probably weren't the best pictures to showcase this on, but it's good because I'm showing you how to actually adjust them. and get them to a different place. So let me just show you the adjustments on these pictures. This is like the mono one I just showed you. You can see it really shows in this one because we got the oranges, but everything else is just monoed out, and it really just keeps the skin tones to where they need to be. So that's the mono. This is the Blue Dream, the one I just showed as well. This is actually a really good example of this one. This is the Mood one I just showed. With the Mood, this one looks really good on this picture as well. You can see the nice blues. And then we also got Grainy Green, which is, I actually like this one a lot. This is like a green tones in the shadows, but it also gives the image like a nice amount of noise as well. It's like, I don't know, it kind of has like a really vintage vibe to it. But I like the Grainy Green a lot. It's like a punch. It punches, but it also fades out a little bit as well. And then we got the Sandy V2, which is a sandy colorway. It's like desaturated, but it also has those nice warm tones and the highlights and stuff like that. So this is a really cool one as well. But I mean, the Lightroom presets are pretty easy. You just select your photo, and just adjust it how you see it needs to be adjusted. So let's say, for instance, you wanted the blacks to be a little bit higher on this. You can go in and adjust the shadows up just to bring us those blacks back. And say you wanted the whites to hit a little bit harder in the background, you just adjust the whites up. But the key to this is it keeps the colors consistent regardless of the tones. You're gonna have different tones across the board in your actual gallery, but as long as the colors are consistent, that's what's gonna give your gallery a cohesive look. So just go through and adjust them as need be. This is like the Moody one on this one. It looks really nice. Blue Dream looks really nice. Grainy Green even looks really nice. And it's all about what you want to go for. So yeah, I mean, that's the Instagram, not the Instagram, that's the Lightroom presets. You see any color adjustment that you need to be adjusted, just go over, adjust it, adjust tones. It's pretty simple. It's actually really simple. So yeah, that's the Lightroom side of the kits. All right, so real quick, let's just go over the LUTs. Let's go over the LUTs. So let's just hop back into Premiere, and just dragging some LUTs. So with the branded kit LUTs, different on these ones as well, but similar to the Lightroom presets that I just showed. These have tonal adjustments as well. In the branded kit 1.0, it was just color adjustments. So I allowed you to go in and do your color correction how you would typically do to your footage, and then just drag that on for color. The log ones, they have tonal adjustments included, but the standard ones are more so just the color adjustments. So I'm going to preview the LUTs on different footage just to give you a feel of what's actually going on. So I got some nice log footage right here. So we'll drag this in. Change the sequence settings. Yeah, so this is a log clip. I'm going to find another log clip to demonstrate this on. I want one from this Drew shoot that I just did. So here's another one, another log clip. So we can drag that in and demonstrate on this one. Scale the frame size on that. Just mute this. And then I have some Canon clips here that are some standard clips. Well, these are neutral, so they're pretty close to the standard profile. So I'll just drag this in to demonstrate on that. So here's one of the log clips. When I do my color grading, I like to color grade with adjustment layers, and adjustment layers make it easy for me to be able to adjust the clips under. So let's just create an adjustment layer, click the new item adjustment layer. And I'm just gonna drag an adjustment layer over this one, duplicate, drag an adjustment layer over this one, and then we'll do the same for this one as well. So for this clip, I'm gonna demonstrate some of the different log ones on this one. So if we click the adjustment layer, go to our creative tab, we're gonna look for the LUTs. So let's just find the branded kit 2.0, LUTs, log. We're just gonna click through to see what looks good and what doesn't look good, and I'm gonna show you all how to do tonal adjustments to these clips. So the branded kit 1 LUT on this particular footage, it looks really, really blue, and it doesn't give him a natural skin tone. So a simple and easy adjustment for this that we would do is we can either do it on the adjustment layer or we can click on the actual clip as well. I'm just going to click on the clip because that's what I do. So if we click on the clip, go to our Lumetri tab over here, I'm just going to drag it more to the warm tones just because, just to give our skin tones more of a natural look. And it's really just as simple as that. Just adjusting the temperature to match the different mood or vibe that you're trying to give off. So that one was a little bit too blue, but you can see if we move it to the actual warmer side, it works a little bit well. I still don't think that one works the best though. So honestly, I would probably just choose another LUT. Like LUTs are situational based. Some LUTs are not going to work on certain footage. So I would just choose another LUT. I think that this one right here works a lot better than the other one. So this one is also still really cool, but it looks a lot better on the skin. So one adjustment that I would do here is to up the shadows a little bit. He looks a little bit dark. I don't think it looks bad, but I think that looks a lot better, honestly. So to go from that log footage right there to that right there, that looks pretty fire. We can also even drag the temperature over a little bit more to the warmer side just to warm it up a little bit. That looks fire though. I mean, compared to that log footage to that looks super cinematic to me personally. I like to look at things with letterbox images on them as well. They just, I don't know, I think the letterbox just makes stuff look more cinematic than it even is. So I'm gonna drag a letterbox on there as well just to look at it. I think that looks good as hell personally. It might be a little bit too faded for me. I mean, a simple adjustment to that would just to be drag the blacks down a little bit to get rid of that fade. Make sure we're on the right layer. Drag the blacks down a little bit just to get rid of the super faded look. That looks fire to me. That's just one example. There's tons of different examples of stuff on here. So yeah, I mean, let's just go to the next clip and try another LUT on this one. So we'll click on this one, this adjustment layer, and we'll look for another LUT. Let's just try the LUT one on this one. See, the LUT one on this one looks really good. Like borderline perfect. Like I would probably just leave this as is. I think that looks fine. That looks like borderline perfect for that clip. I would just leave that as is. I think that looks straight. But it's tons of different LUTs. I actually want to bring in another clip to demonstrate on as well, because these ones are this one is shaded, but we have the sun hitting the side of his face. So I think that this one's lit well. This one's on a cloudy day, but I want to bring in this clip right here to showcase a sunny day, because this clip is like super sunny. So let's just try another one of the Brandon Kid LUTs on this one. So this is the LUT 3. This is the LUT 3 on this one. I think that this one's a little bit too warm. So, a simple adjustment and a simple fix to this is to just click on it and adjust the temperature. Let's just drag it back to blue. You can see how it looks a lot better. Just dragging the temperature back to blue makes this look a little bit better. And this is just a faded look. If you like the moody faded look, just go with this one. I think that looks fresh. And just a simple adjustment, an adjustment as simple as that makes that footage go from non-usable to usable. So, it's most of the time it's as simple as that. So let's try another LUT on this one, this footage right here, because this is like a bright day one. So the Brandon Kid, the LUT 3 that we just adjusted on this one looks super fresh on this clip right here. Let me mute this. So that looks super fresh right there. Like that's like borderline perfect to the point where you don't even have to really adjust anything to it. So we went from that log footage right there to that. Like that looks crazy. Really good clip. So let's just check out the Brandon Kid 4 LUT. See what that looks like. This LUT right here is like a little bit too contrasted for me, but it doesn't look bad though, and it's actually workable. One thing that I would do to this LUT on this footage to make it work is make it warmer. I don't think it's warm enough. This is like a sunset shot, so I would like it to be like super warm. bring the blacks up. I think the blacks are crushed a little bit too much. And I mean, I think that looks straight. I think the last LUT in the branding kit is for studio footage. So let me just find some studio footage to bring in to demonstrate this on. Music video files. We'll go to the T Crux 3 words. And we're just gonna find one of these video clips to try this on. I want one of the performances from the earlier parts. So let's just import this and check out the fifth and final look. This was shot in a studio. I haven't really tested it in too many other settings, but for a studio or something that's well lit, this is gonna work perfect. So just bring this in. We'll bring over an adjustment layer, delete what's already on this adjustment layer. Scale the frame size on this because it's zoomed. And you can see that this footage looks crazy. Like, you can see literally everything on this set. If I'm not mistaken, this is the LUT that I used for this music video. Yeah, so look, you can see right there. It's just a really nice teal and orange grade for the studio. You can see it works well. Works really well. But yeah, I mean, if you need to adjust the intensity of the LUTs, let's say it comes on too hard on your footage, you can literally just bring the intensity down on it, bring the vibrancy down on it if the colors are popping too hard. But all the other adjustments are pretty simple. So this is the standard footage, and this is gonna be for, let's say you have a clip that you've already color corrected to get to like pretty much a standard look. These LUTs are gonna be for you in that scenario. So let's just go find some of the standard ones. LUTs and standard. I'll bring on the branding kit 1.0. The branding kit 1. You can see it looks nice. It's very faint because these clips are already, they're already standard. So they already have contrast and everything in them. So these are just more so color adjustments. This is simple. Drag it on. Adjust the intensity. If it doesn't come on intense enough, you can bring up the vibrancy. You want the colors to pop harder. And it's just as simple as that. So we went from that to that. So it's a really nice grade. But it's really just a simple color adjustment. That's all it is. It really has nothing to do with tonal adjustments at all. Bring that on. So we went from that to that. Just a simple color adjustment. And if we wanted the contrast to pop harder or the shadows to drop, we can just go to these adjustments up top and drop those down. And it's as simple as that, man. Drag and drop with LUTs. Make sure you do your color correction if you're using the standard ones. If you're using log, use the log ones. And you can also adjust the intensity on the log ones if those are not hitting your footage as hard. But if you ever find yourself in a scenario where your skin tones look a little bit weird, they look a little bit too blue, just go up and adjust the temperature and drag it to the warmer side and vice versa. If it's too warm. So, I mean, those are the LUTs in a nutshell. It's pretty simple stuff. And it's, pretty simple. As simple as any other LUTs that I'm sure you guys have used before. So if we went through the LUTs, the Instagram, the Lightroom presets, let's just go through these banners and then we're going to get up out of here. So these banners are formatted for YouTube. And a simple breakdown for these banners is... we have, when you open them, you'll see these blue lines. And I know that this looks super intimidating, but it's literally the exact same editing concept as all the templates that we went through in Photoshop before. But a brief breakdown of these different squares and what they mean. So I'm just going to check these eyes off so you can see what I'm saying. So this little square right here, this really dark gray one, this is the safe area. These two squares are going to be seen on every single device, smartphones, TVs, tablets, desktops, everywhere. This little square right here is going to be seen on everything. So this safe area is where you're going to want to put the most important things, whether that be a photo of your face, if you want a photo of your face in there, or a photo of the camera, or whatever is the focal point of the banner. You're going to want it in these two dark squares. And then everything else is just a fall off. So desktop maximum, you're going to want it super wide. It's going to work on a desktop. And then the TV one at the top is not that vital. But I just threw it in there anyways. All right, so Now that we got that out the way, it's simple. It's literally the exact same concept as what we've been doing. I'm gonna delete the images out and then the images folder for the sake of this and bring them back in. Same thing we've been doing. So we're gonna bring our image in, drop it in. And the safe area at the bottom is gonna be for the TV. So this is probably not even gonna get seen at all. But we're just gonna, import an image right there, just so if someone watches it on a TV, they'll see something back there. I mean, you're more than welcome to leave it white. Honestly, on my YouTube banner, I have mine's white just because I don't care. But some people are gonna wanna, have that look well for other people. So just get that in. Right click, create a clipping mask, how we always do, and then we're gonna bring in our main image. So whatever your main image is, I'm gonna bring this one in just because I've been using it. Drag it in, put it on top, right click, create the clipping mask. Same thing we've been doing. It's literally the exact same thing. When you scale, make sure you hold shift and just drag it in and drop. So remember, these two rectangles right here, the safe zone. So everybody's gonna see this on their phone, everywhere. Everybody's gonna see these things. So this is where we want the most important stuff. So I mean, once we get our images to where we want them to be, the only thing left to do is just to edit the text. So you'll put in your channel name, YC Imaging. For me, it will be YC Imaging. And then we have the different section right here at the bottom to input the different things that we do on our channel. I do music videos, vlogs, and tutorials. So that's what I would put for mine. But that's up to you. And even if you didn't want to put that there, like if you wanted to take all the text off, you can just do that as well. But that's up to you. If you wanted to put music videos, music video director, boom, there you go. You in the game. I would move the text to format it a little bit better. I'll probably center format it, so I'll just move it over to wherever. It's a bunch of different things that you can do, but in the simplest form, that's it. It's literally all you do. Drag the text over to where you want it. If you want the text in the middle, you can move it to the middle. Move it to the left. Just make sure these two rectangles are the safe zone. So don't move anything that's vital outside of these two rectangles. Leave it like that. You can change the colors of the text, do whatever you want to do. But once you're done, let's go up to File, Save As. Name it whatever you want. Tutorial banner. I'll name it that. Desktop. And we're going to save it as a JPEG this time. So we'll do it a JPEG. And we'll just hit Save. Make sure we put it all the way up to large file, maximum, because we want the maximum quality. Hit OK, and then it's as simple as that. So yeah, it's as simple as that. Let's just go to the next one. The next one's a little bit different, but fairly the same for the most part. One thing that I forgot to tell you about the second one, I'll go over it in this one, is we have these overlay folders, and what's within these overlay folders is different overlays that we can do for our photos. So let's say we wanted everything black and white. We would push the overlay for black and white, and it would make everything black and white. On top of that, we have a darkened one. So a lot of the times with images and putting text on top of images, we need to put some sort of overlay over top of it to make the text actually readable. So we have a darkened overlay that we will push right there, and you can see that kind of makes the photos in the background a little bit darker. So the text is, legible. But we also have a lighten one as well, which, fades it out to like a whiter tone if we wanted to put some darker text on it. So with mine's in this one right here, I have the darken and the black and white one on, but you have the option to do whatever you want to do. So with the images, same deal. We have a fade right here in the middle, so I'll go over that again in case you forgot. I'm just going to delete the images out for the sake of this, and we'll import them back into this actual project. Let me see real quick. Let's close this out. We don't want to save that. Close that out. Close that out. We don't want to save that. Close that out. And we'll close that out as well. We don't want to save that. Yeah, so let's just bring these images back in so I can show you guys how to do that. So we'll find the pictures that we want. I had this image. I had this image, and I think I had this image as well. So we have 3 images. I want this one to be the background, so I'll drag it in first. Drop it, and this is gonna be the TV area. So right click, create a clipping mask for that. And we're just gonna scale it down to make it look decent. Even though we'll probably never see it, it's there for the people who wanna browse our channels on TV. I think that looks good. And then we'll bring in the other 2 images. So we'll bring this one in next, drag, drop. And this is gonna be on our safe area. So we'll right click and create a clipping mask for that. But remember, everything vital that we want is gonna be in between these 2 squares. So we're gonna scale this down and we're gonna try to get ourselves in here. We're not gonna think about the edge of this, not crossing the actual edge of the entire thing, because we're gonna fade this out to another image. So let's just scale this down to get ourselves in there somewhat into the vital space of it. Keep scaling. I think that looks good. That's fine right there. And let's just bring in our next image. So we'll move this. And then we'll drop. We're gonna right click and create a clipping mask. And we're just gonna scale it down. And we're gonna try to get ourselves into the one of those vital rectangles again. Get it to look good, like that. Scale it down just a little bit more. And yeah, I think that looks fine. So we have to erase out this one so we can get to that bottom image. We can actually just move that one on top so we can see the edge of that one. I'm gonna do that and select our eraser tool. Make sure we're selected on the actual image that we want to start erasing from. Make sure our hardness is all the way down. We want it to be as soft as possible. And we're just gonna start erasing and fading in until we get rid of that hard edge. And I think that looks fine, looks good. So zoom in just to see how it looks. We got both of our images in the squares. And now it's time to edit our text. So we'll click the text tool, we'll change the name, YC Image Infamy, of course. Put it to wherever you want. And upload schedule, you can change this to whatever. You can put music video director on this one too as well. Let's do new videos Monday through Thursday. Monday through Thursday. Whatever, just put it to whatever you want. And there it is. I mean, it's just as simple as that. So then we would go through and save it as a JPEG. I'm not gonna save it again just because you guys know that. We'll just upload it to YouTube after that. So yeah, I mean, that banner is as simple as that one. And let's just get into the last one. Last one is literally just as simple as the first one. We have 2 images on it. We have our overlays. We have the darken overlay on this one because the images are pretty bright and the text is kind of hard to read. So I'm not even gonna go through this one because I've literally just showed you guys how to do this like tons of times, and you know that's it. That's it. We're at the back of the Brandon Kit 2.0. There it is, man. Let me know if you guys are enjoying this. Let me know if there's something that I did not go over in the Brandon Kit that does not make sense to you guys. I'll make sure to check the comments of this pretty often. But yeah, man, let me say thank you guys again for supporting and going out of your way to purchase this. Hopefully this improves your personal image. Hopefully this gives you a new cool way to display your videos on Instagram and pretty much everywhere else. So yeah, man, appreciate you guys. I'm gonna get up out of here. Yeah, man, thanks. Peace out, man. See y'all.